Alright, in this segment, I want to go over what will probably be the first of many videos concerning corruption and money in politics, and why we specifically need to get money out of politics and move towards move to publicly funded elections. Now, this video features front and center Senator Joe Manchin. I did a video a few days ago about Senator Manchin when he became one of two Democrats to vote for Tom Pruitt, Trump's EPA pick. I'll link to that video in the description. Tom Pruitt is a grossly unqualified, a sworn, dedicated, documented, open enemy of the EPA. And voted anyway. That's not important. What's important here is this guy, Joe Manchin. He's let's say Democratic senator for Virginia. He was what a number of people have started to call a dino. It's a Democrat in name only, being that these would be what you would call blue dog Democrats or something kind of like that, where they're in a state that leans heavily Republican or is more conservative. So they tend to vote conservative on a lot of things. Well, this guy votes conservative on a lot of things. He's, of course, in West Virginia, he's 100% pro-coal. He's, again, voted for Pruitt for EPA, to head the EPA, who is absolutely against the EPA and is already trying to repeal rules and regulations that would, for example, the first one up on the chopping block was repealing a rule that would prevent mines or restricts mines from dumping coal mining waste into rivers and streams. I mean, why would you be against that? Anyway, moving on to the more interesting part. I was looking into this guy's background, and I found out something interesting. He is actually the father to Heather Bresch, Bresch, who is, and that's interesting because she is the CEO of Mylan Pharmaceuticals. Mylan Pharmaceuticals, you might be aware of the name because past few months or last year, they kicked up a bit of controversy when they jacked up the price of the EpiPen. Basically, a technology that an EpiPen is essentially an epinephrine auto injector for widely known, widely used device for people who have allergic reactions, and so basically what happened is Mylan Pharmaceuticals purchased the EpiPen auto injector from a different company that had been selling it for I think $50 a piece or something for $100 or so for a 2-pack, and then jacked the price to about $600 per pack. So $300 a piece for the injectors. But of course they're not sold individually, they're sold in a 2-pack, so yeah, $600 a pop, essentially. Now it gets a little more interesting. So okay, his daughter's a corporate scumbag who wants to charge people out the nose for life-saving medication that they didn't invent or invest any money in, but they just want. Okay, that's one thing. But what's with the corruption, money, and politics, stuff like that? Well, it gets even better. Not only has her company jacked up the cost of this medication to an extremely high level, But her and her company and her mother, his wife, Gail Manchin, who is the head of the West Virginia Board of Education, has pushed for passing legislation, and in West Virginia successfully, that would require schools to maintain auto-injectors, EpiPens, on the premises and have people trained to use them. Which, that's interesting considering Mylan Pharmaceuticals, her daughter's company, happens to own something like around 90% or control about 90% of the EpiPen auto-injector market. And what a coincidence, her mother is pushing for legislation that would require schools and education agencies or facilities to purchase them and have them on hand. And then once that legislation was put in place, I cannot say her name, Mylan Pharmaceuticals implemented a program to give students or give schools a discount on the drug, which they were now required to have on hand per the law. But to get the discount, they had to sign an agreement saying they would not use any competitors' auto-injectors for 12 months after signing the deal to get the discount. Now, they have since removed that clause from their little discount program. But still, it's anti-competitive. They were required to remove it. Alright, so the whole family's involved in this stuff. Like, okay, well, I haven't really tied Joe to this yet. He's just, okay, could it just be that maybe it's a thing on the other side of the family? That's okay, there's a little quid pro quo. Hey, my company, the daughter's company will give money. Also, that there's donations, giving donations to the Board of Education and funding research and everything to help them, assist them in drafting these policies. So, is it just on that side? Is he involved? Yes, as a matter of fact, he is. As it turns out, not only does the daughter run the company that produces and sells for an exorbitant price the drugs that are required, that schools are required to buy by law that was pushed for by her mother, but her father, when we look at data from opensecrets.org, oh, look at that. Look at that. Mylan Incorporated. Campaign contributions. From 2011 to 2016, Mylan Pharmaceuticals is the second highest campaign contributor to Joe Manchin. And there you have it. This is the kind of thing, and I will do more videos covering issues like this, or this type of corruption, and the effect of money in politics, and the revolving door, just basically the main issues that are just rotting our political system. And I will be doing much more videos on it in the future because it's so prevalent. It's everywhere. I mean, look at this situation, and this took me a couple minutes to find, because I was looking around, and so okay, saw her name and Mylan Pharmaceuticals, and what the hell is going? Oh. But see, this is, as I said, this is just one instance. Practically every politician in Washington and at state levels being in bed with corporations and companies, with what is essentially legalized bribery. And it needs to stop. Alright, these people, politicians like this, need... Oh, by the way, his wife, Gail Manchin, you know how she became the sort of the chairman or the head of the Board of Education in West Virginia? He appointed her when he was governor. Anyway, this needs to stop. Absolutely needs to stop, okay? We cannot continue having a government that is essentially a group of elites that go around, repaying favors and doing things for each other to enrich themselves while basically saying fuck you to the country and the people that put them there. So, when this guy comes up for election next year, his ass needs to be primaried. We need to make sure that this is seen, that the country realizes, fully understands, and is able to appreciate the level of corruption that goes on in our government. And they need to get people like this out. So, that's my rant on this one for today. Like, comment, subscribe, links in the description, and I will see you next time.